Hello, guys. Hello. Hi. Sorry, I'm a bit late today. Editing the slides to the last minute. Sorry. Hi, I'm just gonna wait a little while for people to start entering the broadcast studio, or rather, the live stream. Hi, how's everybody doing? It's midweek. Oops. Sorry. Okay, it is midweek, and I guess everyone's tired. It is Wednesday. I'm feeling tired. Mm, but okay, I'm trying to keep up my energy so that yes, today's workshop 2. Tomorrow there's one more live Q&A. Just adjust my screen and my camera, and there's one more live Q&A, and then workshop 3 on Friday evening. I know Friday's a bit quiet. I don't know. Seems like on my Instagram people are like maybe in cell groups, or it's like a Friday night special. People go out and stuff, so it's a bit quiet on my like social media, but it's okay. Join me if you can. If you can't, there's always the replay. Can catch that on the Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to the weekend very much. Okay, let's see who has joined me. I can't see it unless y'all say hi. So again, if you're new to this workshop format, you can go on to streamyard.com/Facebook. Give StreamYard your some permission to access your details. Don't worry, they're just going to be able to show me your picture, your Facebook picture, and your Facebook name. And then when you comment, I'll be able to see who's commenting and interact with you directly. Yeah. Do you like the mic? I just bought a mic because I went to review workshop 1 and I realized that the sound was so buzzy and so it wasn't good. Sorry about that. So I went and get a mic and I love it. I'm gonna show you my mic. Yay! I feel very professional, like a YouTuber now, a podcaster. Okay. Anyway, I love my mic. So yes, I see 5 people on. Hello, hi Felicia. Hello, Facebook user. I can't quite see you, but hello there. Hi Felicia also. Okay, since 2 of you are here, and actually 5 of you are here, I'm going to start. Okay. Let's begin. Okay, welcome again. This is workshop 2. And I've entitled this workshop as Light That Inner Fire. So first workshop, we have spoken about first workshop, we've spoken about how self-motivation is important and powerful, and it is something we want to inculcate in our kids. We want to train our kids to have. It's kind of like a skill, I guess, as a self-management, others management skill, very complex, and we don't expect our kids to master it immediately or even like before preschool. But certainly, we can plant the seeds and grow them and develop them, and it will serve them very well in the future. And we've also established that there are some preconditions that need to be met according to Maslow's table, that triangle table with the 5 basic needs. They need the physiological needs met, they need social needs met, etc., etc., etc. And once the needs are met, then the child-centric way is the way to increase your child's motivation. Now, what does that mean exactly? So this is these 2 workshops, workshop 2 and 3, we're going to unpack that and see how we can apply it in our home in a practical way. Okay, so I have entitled the workshop as Light That Inner Fire. Okay, before that, some admin again. We've done 1 live presentation, 1 workshop. We have done 1 Q&A. So today is workshop 2. Tomorrow there's another Q&A. Do join me if you can. And also I've realized that I don't answer questions so well when they're posted like live. Of course, I will answer all your questions, right? But if you already know what you're going to ask me, then I'm going to please post them in the thread so that I have some time to think about it, process my thoughts, that I can give you a more complete picture, a more complete answer with maybe different angles so that you can take a look at your situation, see which areas apply, right? Okay, and then, yes, if you still don't know, I'm running a contest. And so you just have to participate in the Facebook group on the post that has like a contest number 1, contest number 2. So each post that you participate in, that will give you 1 entry into a contest. Okay, and at the end of it, you can double your, okay, not at the end of it, actually you should share this workshop now so that you can double your entries at the end. Okay, share your work, you can share whatever it is. You can share the Facebook picture with on your Facebook page or your Instagram. You can go to one of my Instagram photos with a motivational workshop picture, and then you can share that with or repost that, and then tag me, tag Elephantbox, and I will make sure that your post is public so that I can see that you have shared it, and then that will double your entries. Okay, and you will get to win. I'll tell you at the end again if you still don't know. All right. Okay, like the inner fire. So we are going to focus on the child today, because have you ever seen a child's face and eyes just light up in excitement over what he has done or he's learning? If you have, you know, it's actually one of the wonders of the world, right? At least I really enjoy it. I love seeing that aha moment, that light bulb moment goes off in a child's mind, and he's just like, I've got it. Yeah, just this week I saw it in my son, who I've shared that he was so scared of going to primary school because he didn't know multiplication. And then I taught him using one of the Montessori multiplication board, which is a really simple tool. And when he got it, he was just like, I'm not scared of primary 1 anymore. And then he was very motivated. He keeps wanting to do it. Fill up the board. Is like it's a board with 81 dimples, so it's 9 times table, right? I'm not expecting him to memorize at this point. I just want him to understand that multiplication is repeated addition. That's all. So it's a sometimes we always we have fears of our own, right? Like, well, multiplication tables must memorize. But actually, when we strip it down, we make it simplified for the child gets it. Oh, it's just wonderful to watch. It's like a very complex medical subject reduced to a very simple logic, a very simple exercise that he enjoys doing. So that's wonderful, right? Yeah. So conversely, you know how a dispassionate child and disengaged child looks like? His eyes are glazed over. He's doing this. He's bored. He's looking at you. He's not looking at you. And nothing's like, you don't sense that there's something between his ears. You know, he's not interested. He's very, very bored. Well, the good news is the second kid can transform into the first engaged child if we prepare the right environment and stimulus. It's not rocket science or requires a PhD or a child early childhood education degree or diploma. All it takes is for some patience, some observation, some determination to reset the child and reset your environment. So we're going to talk a bit about that today. Okay? Oh dear. Is the screen not clear, Jazzy? Would you like to refresh your page and then let me know again? If not, I might have to restart the presentation. Hi, Nina. Hi. Oh, but if you can't see it, okay, you can watch the replay, I guess. But okay, I mean, I suggest you refresh your page and then see whether you can click on and then join back the live again. Okay, that should work. Okay, if not, the rest, are y'all okay? All right. Okay, if the rest is okay, then I think I don't have to restart the slides. Okay, I'm gonna continue on. Okay, so now I've spoken a bit about the Montessori method, and actually I am using the Montessori philosophy and philosophy as a backbone for this entire workshop, because I know that there are other child-centered theories like Reggio or Waldorf, and by each theory or each philosophy has its strengths and limitations. But my training is in Montessori, so I'm especially familiar with it, and so I'm just going to use it to and apply the principles to increasing motivation for our kids. Okay, I'm not saying that other theories are not good. I'm sure they have strengths, and I'm sure we have a lot to learn from that. And I will I am very interested to learn those things along the way. So, but for this workshop, the scope will just be on Montessori. Okay, and I feel that Montessori actually strikes a really good balance between being freeing for the child, giving lots of freedom, and also at the background there's actually quite a bit of structure going on. For some of us, we are very used to structure, a curriculum, a set syllabus, the lesson plans and all that. It can be very scary when we talk about following the child. What if the child is not interested in certain things? Then do we not introduce it to him at all? For example, the child is not interested in Chinese or mother tongue. Then do we just follow the child's interest? Don't and just do away with Chinese and all that? I don't think that's the idea or that's the purpose. As a prepared adult, as a knowing adult and parent, I think we definitely need to expose our kids to what they need. And we see what's ahead, and in primary school we have to prepare them for that. I think, like it or not, the primary school system is pretty rigorous and it's pretty high level, I would say, developmentally. I mean, if you compare across the education systems across the world, right, Singapore's system is rigorous, and there is a standard to be met. And I think also it's our duty as parents to meet that. Sure, we want our kids to play. We want them to enjoy themselves, learning and experimenting and exploring. But at the end of the day, the whole idea is to prepare them for what's ahead, right? I think you agree with me. And so I feel that Montessori does that really, really well, because it is comprehensive and is rigorous enough for the Singapore curriculum. Well, I spoke to my girl's preschool principal, and she's Montessori, right? So obviously she's a little biased, but she did say that among all the child-centered methods, Montessori has the most structure that suits the Singapore curriculum, the Singapore primary school system the best. So I think we're in good hands. I think we are going somewhere with Montessori. Plus, I looked at the Montessori stuff that they cover in preschools, and I was really shocked. The first time I saw the math syllabus or the maths curriculum, the preschoolers at about 5 to 6 years old were actually covering primary 3 maths in primary school. Yeah, that's how advanced it is. But at the same time, the kids don't even realize are not burdened with that. Oh, I'm doing something so high level, I cannot do it, I'm so stressed. No, they're using the materials, they're playing, they're manipulating them, and they just get it because of how the way the teaching is done through the Montessori materials. So not all the syllabus is covered, not all the P3 syllabus is covered at 6 years old, but things like the kids were doing operations like plus and minus, especially plus and minus up to thousands, okay, that's like 4 digit. That is only done in primary 3. They're also doing things like 3D figures, that's covered in primary 2, which my girl is doing now. So actually the Montessori math syllabus curriculum is very advanced, very. And the kids don't realize it. They are playing and they're enjoying themselves and they're learning at the same time. And of course, the phonics is very comprehensive, and most Montessori kids will definitely learn to read and read books way above their reading levels, expected reading levels when they enter primary school. Yeah. So reading we've done, we're covered. Maths were good. I think pretty much there's only Chinese, right? So unfortunately, the Montessori schools in Singapore may be a bit lacking in Chinese, but because Montessori did not include teaching Chinese as part of that syllabus, right? So that is something we have to supplement, and well, I guess we do the best we can. And I think if we build that confidence, if we just teach the kids our mother tongue, I realize some of the people who sign up for this workshops may not be Chinese. I see some names. Maybe I'm learning Tamil or Hindi or Malay. Yeah, I think the general principles of learning language applies. Speak more, listen more, read more, write more. That's all, right? So we'll cover Chinese a bit more in the Q&As, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so that is this triangle here. The Montessori Keys principle is in following the child's lead. We've covered that. So she came up with this framework to help us understand the relationship between the three factors. First of all, there's the prepared adult, which she refers to as the directress or the principal who is trained in her methods. Okay, and then there's the prepared environment, which refers to all the materials plus the way the directress plans out the curriculum and all that, okay? And then that will lead to, and then of course there's the child herself or himself. So the child is not a blank slate. He already comes inbuilt with a software with his own characteristics, personality, interest, all pre-programmed in this child. And we cannot change that. We only have to work with whatever God has given us with, okay? And a prepared adult is one who celebrates the child's individuality. She respects the child's needs and rhythms. So she observes the child and prepares the environment conducive for the child to construct his own knowledge. Okay, so it doesn't mean that the teacher shouldn't talk or guide or teach the child, okay? But left on their own, children will be able to effectively explore the environment and use what they see and touch to learn. So I'll give you an example, okay? So for a baby learning to stand, I see some of you, some as a mother who just gave birth, I think, maybe still in confinement. It's great. You are in a great place, okay? New moms, you're still having a baby or a toddler, you're in a great place to learn this and apply this because you get this right from the start, you're going to have an easier way down the road. So for example, the baby learning to stand, what you can do to prepare the baby's environment, very simple. Clear off the whole place of obstacles, have a safe place, and then you can put a sturdy bar where the baby can pull up, or even a sofa. Like my baby just hung around my sofa, which is a good height, so she kind of pulled herself up. That's all. You just see what the baby's learning, see what the baby wants to, is ready to do, and then you just clear the obstacles and give her materials or things that will help her learn to stand on her own. That's all. Okay, how about a baby learning language? Babies don't learn language from books. You can't just place books, right? Like you say, you prepare the environment and you just throw the books there, hoping the baby will just flip and learn language. Doesn't happen. Right? So she doesn't learn books or she doesn't learn from the TV. We, the adult, becomes part of the child's prepared environment. As we read the books to the child, we sing the songs and we talk to the child. So basically that's how babies pick up language. So it is not devoid of human interaction. The prepared environment is not devoid of human interaction. It's just a term to denote a carefully, thoughtfully curated space with appropriate learning materials to help the child build his knowledge. Okay, so we focus on the child because that's our end goal, right? That this is where we want to end up in, to educate our children, to nurture them to be self-motivated and kind and industrious, etc., etc. And so what did Montessori find out about how kids learn? Okay, so I just want to give you a bit of background, how her methods came about. It's very interesting because we talked about this, right? Our goals, our end goals for in 20 years, what we want for our kids. So as it turns out, whatever we want of the child is already inbuilt in the child. It's amazing because through her research, she found that actually all the children, if given the right environment, if given the right guidance by the teacher or parent or adult, they want to become all of these things. They want to be independent, successful, right? Independent. They want to be confident. They want to be joyful. They want to be happy. They want to be well adjusted. They want to they want to have friendships. They want to connect with people. They love being social and of course passionate. Okay, they love learning and they always love learning and okay, have a close relationship with people. Yeah. So all these goals that we want for our children are actually inbuilt in the children themselves. Most of them, all of them. Okay, this is the blueprint that the child comes pre-programmed right from birth. So now how did she find this out? Through, how did she find this out? So I go back a bit into history, okay, how she came about these things. Hang on, let me see my notes. Oh, wait. Okay. Oh, okay. Hey, I seem to have a slide missing, but okay, never mind. I see what I can remember, okay? The history of Montessori. Okay. I'm a fan, but I'm not that much a big fan to remember all her facts of her life. Okay, so she first started out with, she's a doctor. Okay, her training is in being a medical doctor. She's the first doctor, she's the first woman doctor in Italy, but her training is not in teaching. So she was a doctor. She's trained in a scientific method of observation and inquiry. I guess it's a bit of experimentation. So she was first sent to a children's psychiatric ward, and she didn't know how to teach them or how to treat them, right? Because these are children. They're all like mentally ill. They're tied to their beds all day long. They're straight-laced jackets. And so she found that when she removed those straight-laced jackets and freed them to move, because they were chained to their beds, they were mentally ill and sick, the kids improved so much. So she observed that if you chain a child and you restrict his or her movements, it affects his mental capacity. He becomes stupid. He becomes an idiot, like he doesn't know how to learn. But if you free the child, you give him freedom of movement, you let him explore with his hands and manipulate things, he gets better. He builds that knowledge himself. So basically, all her wards got better. All her wards got better just by being free and move and free and being free to move. Okay, so that's her first realization that the hands are so important to constructing knowledge for young children. And the second vocation she was sent to was to an inner city school in Rome, in San Lorenzo. It's like a slum area, full of working blue-collar parents who had no time for the kids. So the kids were running wild. So they housed all these kids in this children's house, and the governor or government just threw her in there and said, nah, you go and teach these kids. See whether you can apply whatever you learn in the psychiatric ward to these children. And Maria Montessori was very excited because she felt positive that her methods, if they could work with the mentally ill children, they would work even better with normal, ordinary kids who just needed a proper environment to grow up in. So these kids were latchkey, right? And they were uneducated. Their parents were uneducated, and they themselves also were not educated. So she got them in, and she, again, through observation and trial and error, she saw what they wanted and then supplied what they needed. And basically, they just learned and they loved learning. And she found that kids as young as 3 or 4 years old were teaching themselves how to read. And more than read, they were absorbing everything into the environment, and they were just learning and absorbing. And she introduced really complex subjects to these kids, and they were just soaking them in. She introduced things like botany, zoology, mathematics, science, or whatever that we, whatever subject that she could introduce to them, because they can read and write and speak by that time. They just absorbed all of these in. And so they loved learning. Her kids started off being unruly, right? But they loved learning, and they exhibited all these qualities that we actually want of our children in 20 years' time, right? So that's how she found out that this is the end goal. This is where the kids will end up in if we give them the proper environment. Isn't that exciting? Like, what we want for the kids, they already have it in them. Okay. So what she found out was the inner city kids came to her in this state, pre-normalized child. Okay. So I'm not saying that the use of the word normal can be a bit sensitive to some, but this is her terminology. Okay, so I'm just trying to use the right terminology when I'm explaining the theory. So she uses the term pre-normalized child just to describe a child who has not been who has not learned to go through that process of what do you call that, normalizing themselves, I guess, for a lack of a better word. So these are some characteristics, okay, and you may see that it may describe your child in certain situations, not all, okay. I don't think I don't think your child will be like that in every situation, but maybe certain situations, certain times of the day, or maybe certain periods of his life, you can see that these are some of the things that he's exhibiting. So for example, he suffers from attachment issues. Okay, he may suffer from attachment issues or lack energy, or he's indolent, he's rude, often rude to people, rude to adults, okay, or he's timid. He is scared. He's always scared and very shy, very withdrawn. Okay. He's hesitant in making decisions, he's scared and he's not confident. He withdraws from difficulties or criticism, but actually this one is also us, right? Because like how many of us will like gladly take in criticism? Yeah, so we also not very normalized. Okay, frequent tears, tantrums, a lot of tantrums for sometimes no reason. Appearance of despair, that like they can't do anything for themselves. It's like a helplessness that you have to do everything for them. They cannot try, they don't want to learn. Disorderly, disruptive, and destructive, or inconsiderate, or they're rude, they cannot take turns to share. So these are some characteristics of a pre-normalized child, but we want to move them towards the characteristics of a normalized child. So what are the characteristics? For example, language development. They are keen to pick up language and they want to communicate with people. They seeking independence. They want to do things for themselves, and they will try ways and means to master a skill so that they can do things themselves. They need discipline, or they have a need for discipline, and have courtesy and respect for things and for other people and for themselves as well. They love order. Sometimes you can see if your child has something out of place, right? He orders something neatly, and then we move things around and he gets very agitated. Okay, so he needs order. He loves to work. He loves to use his hands to do things, to make things, to create things, or to just perfect his skill. He loves silence and working alone. Now, this one, actually young children love working alone and they hate it, or they are very, they cannot work with other people, especially if you throw them and force them to work on a same project. They can work alongside other people on their own. So it's their work, it's their individual work, but okay, they sit beside somebody too, and they're both doing the same thing. That's fine. But if you ask them to share a piece of paper and do the drawing on that piece of paper, they get really agitated and they're going to quarrel and they're going to fight. Why? Because at this age, they have a need. They have a preset notion, they just want to work alone. They have an idea what their drawing is going to be like, or what the Lego blocks are going to be like. And so if you force them to share, the other person has a different idea and they're not going to be able to put themselves in the shoes of the other person to take in his idea, so they are going to fight. So as much as possible, give each child his own workspace, his own material, so that he can work alone. Okay, mutual aid and cooperation. Sometimes when they're in the mood, they can help each other, or they can share. In fact, a normalized child will be able to take turns, because the Montessori classroom only has one set of materials of each type. So if like two people want to work on pouring water, that's not possible. You have to wait your turn. So it's understood the person who goes there first will do the work, and after it's finished, he will return the materials, and then the next person can work on it. So they are used to taking turns and waiting. And they have spontaneous concentration, which means that kids can actually concentrate for longer and longer periods of time. I want to set this expectation a bit realistically, that when you first start, it's not going to be more than like 2-3 minutes, 5 minutes. But if you keep at it and you just let him go at his task, longer and longer, he will be able to, or he or she will be able to sit and concentrate on a task until completion. Okay, he has initiative, he knows what he wants, and he will go and find the materials that he wants to work on it himself. And he's attached to reality, which means that this is a challenge actually for myself as well. The Montessori purists are very big on this, and they will not introduce and to the child below the age of 6 anything that is cartoony. Disney is out. Things, a lot of books with animals that talk or have human characteristics, those are out too. The reasoning is that kids below the age of 6 are still trying to make sense of the physical world around them. That is why we also discourage excessive screen time and the iPad, because that's not real to them. It's all 2D pictures. It's not something that they can touch, they can smell, they can explore with their senses. So because they are attached to reality, it's good that we give them as real materials as possible. Even those like a pretend play or like those kitchen play sets, they try to make it as real as possible. Yeah. And not those play little tights kind of thing, or your plastic apples or plastic fruits and a plastic knife and all. So this is a reason why that you see a lot of the Montessori inspired blogs or Pinterest. They have all these wooden real things but child size, and they're actually doing real work. Like if your child is interested in cutting fruits, they really give them a fruit, they really give them a child knife, and the kids are cutting. They're not playing pretend. Okay. Yeah, but I said it's hard because you look around as everything is has talking animals. Everything is Disney or Paw Patrol or Peppa Pig, right? It's the popular culture is predominantly that, and to shield our kids away from that is pretty much impossible. But I think as much as possible, we can try to just introduce to them real things, real objects, real books featuring real pictures and faces. Yeah. Okay, and sublimation of the possessive instinct, that just means they will move away from the whole notion that this is mine. Okay, I'm not going to share, because in the Montessori classroom, everything is communal, everything is for everybody's use. You just have to take turns. And of course, it's characterized by joy. The normalized child is very joyful. He's very joyful at working. While he's working, he's often smiling or talking to himself. He's just joyful. Yeah. Okay. So our goal is to move our kids from the pre-normalized state to the normalized state, and this takes a lifetime of work, I guess. And again, not every situation they will be normalized. A fully normalized child in every situation is actually quite scary. It's like he's almost perfect, right? Like always joyful, always independent. I think that's not possible. Yeah, but I think we're aiming for, in most circumstances, this position is joyful and positive towards working and learning. Yeah. Of course, we have bad days. We have bad days. They have bad days. Everybody has one of those mood swing days, right? Yeah. So yep. Okay, so to increase self-motivation, bring us back to what our topic of the workshop is. What will Montessori do, right, to increase the child's self-motivation? So these are some of the principles she has set in place. Again, the preconditions must be met according to Maslow. The kid needs enough, food, he's enough energy, and he's loved. He knows he's securely loved, etc., etc. Okay, in order to even get to the motivation stage. Okay, so after he has met those conditions, what else can we do? Increasing the child's self-motivation is all about giving him opportunities to explore activities he already wants to do. So what this means is we can follow the child. And these are some things I'll explain in a while. It's quite heavy in terms of content, so I'll try to do it as fast and efficiently as possible. But you can see, right, that this is what we learn in like 2 years of Montessori training. So I'm just trying to condense everything and explain in very scanty terms what some of these concepts are. Okay, first of all, what can we do as parents? This is our key job. This is the main job that we do. If we don't do anything else, we have to do this. We have to respect, we have to love, we have to give our kids a sense of security. We respect that every child is his own person, and we try not to compare, especially siblings, because that's just detrimental to the child who's being compared. He feels inferior to the one who's supposed to live up to, probably the older brother or older sister. And the older child will actually feel proud and superior to the one that is she's being compared to. So both are not healthy, and they create a sense of sibling rivalry that's certainly not something that we want to encourage in our home. So to minimize or to stop that right from the start, we have to recognize each individual child as special. They all have their own gifts, they all have their own talents, they all have their own weaknesses to work upon. And this is where we come in and to reassure each and every child that he is special, he is unique, he is loved. Okay? And we show love to our children often and all the time. I think the 5 love languages is a great way to show our kids love. Yes, and I agree that young kids, we should hug them a lot because they depend a lot on physical love, a physical demonstration of love. Hug them a lot, kiss them a lot, hold their hand. It does so much for them, right? And hug them even when they're having a meltdown, because that's when they need the physical touch the most. And words of affirmation. I think there are 5 love languages. If you're not familiar with them, number 1 is physical affection. Number 2 is words of affirmation. We affirm each child and tell him you are special, tell him you're loved, and what is good at. I think he needs to hear what is he good at, what can he excel at. Yeah. Words of affirmation. Okay, gifts. Sometimes or often we give gifts to our children, but it doesn't have to be expensive toys. A thoughtful gift is more impactful, I think, than just a mere expensive toy. Something like maybe your child asks for a rubber ball like weeks ago, and you said no because you don't want to pay like $1, put inside the tikam machine, right, and not get anything, something like that. But maybe weeks later, you see a rubber ball and you thought of him, and then you just buy it for him. And you bring it home and his face just lights up because like, Mommy, you remembered what I said weeks ago. I wanted this ball. So I think it's the thought that the child is in your mind a lot of the time that is most impactful. So gifts, and then time with each child, time alone. So just spending time just sitting by them or looking into their eyes and speaking and communicating with them is important to them. And the last one is acts of service, which we all mothers do, right? I mean, we are doing acts of service every day, like cooking, cleaning, packing up their toys. All these are acts of service, but let's try to do it happily and not under compulsion. Yeah. And I just wanted to point out, if you have a self-motivated child, sometimes they're not easy to love or parent, right? We all say we want a self-motivated child, but a self-motivated child is actually sometimes a strong-willed child, a child who will go against your wishes, and he's not very compliant sometimes because they have a mind of their own. And we can't crush it, but at the same time, we don't want to let them walk all over us. So he's not that easy to parent, but I assure you the results or the end goal is worth it. So if you have a self-motivated child, the good news is that he's actually very confident of your love, even when he doesn't comply, right? Because he knows that your love for him is not dependent on his obedience, and he's just confident. He just does whatever he wants. So if your child is always seeking to please you or look to you for approval first, then he's a good boy. He's a good girl. She's a good girl, but let's look a bit deeper and see where is that coming from. Is she really obeying because she wants to? Is that really what she wants to do? Or is she just flowing along with you, going along with you because because she's going to get scolded otherwise, or whatever the reason is? Maybe fear that you won't love her because she's choosing another way. So let's think about those things, because it's not easy. Sometimes it's times of reflection like this that then I realize that, I'm being a bit too harsh here or too tigerish here. I'm just forcing my will on my child, and she's just backing off. The danger with that, I was just talking to two friends today. One of them is a counselor, a secondary school counselor. She's just telling me that a lot of it is the girls rebel in secondary school because of these incidents are built up, that they are being repressed. They are not told that they can do what they want. And finally, in secondary school, when the mother can no longer control all her actions and all her feelings, and it all kind of like bursts into acts of rebellion that may have some dire consequences in the teenage years. So I think that's something we want to guard against. Like, we don't want to keep forcing our will upon our kids until they switch off and they just do whatever we want just to get us off their backs, right? So yeah, it's something to think about. Okay, and we can observe their daily rhythm. Okay, this is a good exercise to do, actually. Like, just pick a Saturday, or maybe this Saturday you can do this exercise. Just observe his daily his rhythm, what time he wakes up, what time he eats, and then when his energy level at his highest, when is he happiest, when is he most able to concentrate on things. Mostly I think most kids will be in the morning, I think, if they are morning people, or maybe after lunch. I don't know. My kids get a bit tired and cranky about 4-5 o'clock. Yeah, so that's not a good time to do the home learning thing. Mornings are good. Early afternoons are good for them. So every child has his own rhythm. You go observe your child, and you'll be quite surprised to see actually when are his good golden moments. Okay. So, this respect, love, and security, we'll come back to it again in workshop 3 when we focus on the adult. Okay, so not to worry, we'll do more on that. Okay, what else can we do? Give time. Time to do the work. Oops, sorry. My mic fell off the table. Whoopsie. Okay, go back. Okay, give time to do the work. For normalized kids, Montessori actually observed that they can work for 3 hours. Okay, I personally have not seen my kids working for 3 hours, but but this work for 3 hours doesn't mean you sit down in one place and then you just do one task for 3 hours. No, that's not what it means. It means that the child is ready and willing and able and happy to do work for 3 hours, which means that he will pick a task to do, and he'll do, he'll concentrate, he'll finish it, he'll put back the task, he'll walk around, take a break, take a drink, look at what other people are doing, okay, and then he'll go do something else, and then he'll repeat that cycle. So Montessori found that normalized kids can actually concentrate in this kind of work break at their own pace for about 3 hours. Okay, and I think I spoke a bit about this during the Q&A, but if you haven't seen it, it just means that sometimes we just need to hold back. We must refrain from praising, correcting, or interrupting the child when he's concentrating. So, for example, I see my baby like working or playing with keys. She's trying to like pick locks. She's trying to insert the key into a lock and turn it. Okay, so when she's intensely concentrating, and then I'm free, I happen to be free, and I'm like, oh, okay, since I'm free, I better go and do my mommy thing. I better go and talk to her, tell her, teach her about color, shapes, and what have you not. And then I break her concentration. I say, oh, baby, look at this. Oh, look at this. Look at this sharpener. Look at this sharpener. Oh, this is yellow. This is what? What does it do? So, I mean, she's picking a lock. She's trying to insert the key into the lock, and I am distracting her with something that is unrelated to whatever she's trying to do. So that breaks her concentration, and it's annoying, right? Because like an adult, when we are working on something, we are typing our proposal, or whatever you're doing, you're cooking, you're in your flow, in your moment, and your kid just comes and interrupts you, like, mommy, do this with me, or somebody, I don't know, you get a phone call, or your colleague distracts you. It's annoying, it's irritating, and it takes mental effort to get back into that state, into that flow. So same with our babies, same with our kids. If they're already doing something, they are concentrating, don't need to teach, just hang back and observe. And then even if you see them struggling a bit, don't jump in straight away. Okay, just let them struggle a bit, have a bit of frustration, see whether they can overcome it. When they overcome it, it's wonderful. It's beautiful to watch because they light up, their face lights up. They're like, I can do it on my own, right? Whereas when an adult jumps in and says, "Oh, come, I help you," then it kind of like takes away that, that joy and the exhilaration of overcoming the challenge yourself. But of course, if you see that she's struggling, she's frustrated, she's like pulling her hair out, okay, then you step in and say, "How can I help you?" Okay, and then so that's how you can observe and step in and pull back as and when you need. So you don't have to engage the child all the time. Yeah, in fact, it is detrimental if you do that and you break their concentration. Okay, the third point, individual time to each child to help him progress to the next level. So again, it works for multiple kids. All the more we have to carve out time for each kid to make sure that he's doing what he's supposed to do and learning what he's supposed to learn. We can't, we obviously know we cannot group a primary 2 and a K2 children together and give them the same kind of work, right? It doesn't work because each child has different learning needs. So so individual time with each child, that will help you make the teaching very, very individual and pointed to whatever the child needs to learn. Time to decompress, do nothing. Having the kid needs free time. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Let them have some free, unstructured time where they can do whatever they want, and the adult just hands off. You don't even go in to play with them or talk to them. Just leave them be and let them work things out. So the child must have free downtime where they're not given any task and they're free to do whatever they want. Okay, this downtime is actually key to encourage the child to pursue his own interests, be creative, or simply do nothing. Doing nothing is fine. You don't have to fill up your child's every waking moment. In fact, that's too intense. That is too high energy and high level for your children, even for adults. These 2 weeks have been pretty intense for me because I'm running these workshops. I only have like maybe the nights after my kids sleep, and I'm running the workshops. I'm trying to do a million things, and when my kids come back from school, I'm all on with them, so I have no time to do these things. And even that kind of pace is very, very intense. Can you imagine a child? Can he or she take such an intense timetable? They go to school, every half an hour is structured for them. Recess is half an hour, maths is 2 hours, English is like an hour. I don't know, whatever the schedule is, right? And then and then after they come home, they have lunch, they bathe. After that, they they have tuition, right? They have classes. I can read. They have berries. They have music. They have violin. They're swimming. It's unhealthy. It's unhealthy. Really, this has got to stop. I'm saying this out of love, but if you are pushing your children that much and filling their time from 8 to 8, it's unhealthy for their child. Yeah, I'm coming very strongly because this is what the research says. This is what all the experts say. And we need to listen, and we need to slow down, and we need to give our children downtime. Okay? Okay, third thing we can do, observe and give choice. Okay, so we observe the sensitive periods. They are developmental windows of opportunity during which the child can learn specific concepts or develop skills more easily and naturally than any other period of time in their lives. So once you miss this, it doesn't mean that you can't learn a skill anymore, but it just means that it requires more time and more deliberate effort. So for example, language is well documented. The learning of language. Before 3 years old, the native language is acquired effortlessly. The grammar, the structure, the vocab. All the child needs to do is to just listen and imbibe. Excuse me. After 6, in order to learn, or after 3, actually 3, 4 years old, after 6, in order to learn a second or third language, often effort is deliberate and conscious. So what does this mean for us? It means that English, probably no problem. Everybody speaks English in Singapore. Okay, almost everybody speaks English in Singapore. The environment, the words they see on street signs, they're all in English. So that's fine. English, they will pick up pretty naturally. Mother tongue is the problem. Mother tongue, they don't hear, they don't speak, they don't read, they don't write from young. at 0 to 6 years old, which means that deliberate effort must be put in to learn that mother tongue language. So actually, a lot of the books from China, they would peg it. If you look at Taobao or what, they will peg it like, oh, this is suitable for 3 to 6 years old. But actually, that just means because we don't have that language foundation. This means that actually our kids are only ready for that level of books at about maybe after 6 years old, where they actually learn the words very consciously. They go Chinese lessons or in school, and then they learn these like word by word. So they're not learning. Yeah, although the irony is that it's our mother tongue, right? But it's not our native language. Yeah, mother tongue is not our native language. So how do we overcome that? I think we can send to Barry's, we can send to Tianxia, we can send to all the best enrichment classes in the world. But you know what? The best is still you reading to the child every single day. Because that's how they learn English, right? Because you're reading the English books to them. They will learn mother tongue the same way. Reading Chinese books, listening to Chinese songs or broadcasts or whatever Chinese radio stations, yeah, would help because they're listening and they're imbibing that language. Yeah. So okay. Order, the sense of let's look at the bullet points. Okay, movement is from 0 to 6. So if you restrict a child and you don't let him move, you don't let him run around outside, it's going to affect their physical coordination and their gross motor skills. And this is what a lot of the primary school PE teachers are saying, that increasingly the kids come to them in primary one and their physical and motor skills are pretty bad. Like they might trip over their own feet, or they're not coordinated. They're not very coordinated. I think this is because we have been keeping the kids indoors way more than our seniors, our predecessors, or our parents, right? Who just let us run around in the playground or in the field whenever, just get out of the house. That was our time, right? That was our generation. But today the kids are not let out of the house as much. They don't go outdoors. They don't run around for such long hours. So that is affecting their gross motor skills and coordination. Order, a sense of order is from 0 to 3. This is when, as I explained earlier, the child is very sensitive to where things are placed. So it'll be good if you can have a fixed place for a certain object and don't shift it around too much. I find it difficult because I'm always packing my house. I'm always trying to declutter and then failing. So all my things are like, I'm always trying to move things and organize things. So actually my kids' sense of order is very bad. They don't know where things are kept, and I don't blame them because I'm always shifting things around and this affects them. So if you're an organized sort, and if you are the kind who will put in effort to make your house nice and neat, try to arrange things in an order and not change it too much. For example, like Lego goes here in this shelf, in this box, and then you can even like Lego, you can label it, put a picture, put the words. So the young baby is learning, oh, okay, Lego looks like this. It's spelled like this. Okay, and then your materials, your paint materials go somewhere else, and they're always in a fixed place. So your child can find those things easily. And when he needs them, he's like, I'm going to build Lego blocks. I'm going to go straight to that box and take out my Lego. If not, he's like, I want to build a Lego blocks. And I'm like, I can't find them. And then he gets upset. And worse, when he doesn't talk yet, you don't know why he's upset because he can't find his stuff. Okay, small objects. Language and vocabulary. Yes, as I said this, 0 to 6 years old. Explosion into writing and reading is from 3 to 6. It's interesting. I will talk about this a bit later. And then music is about 3 years old. So a sense of rhythm, a sense of music, even tone is about 3 years old, 0 to 3. So from young, let your kids listen to music. Otherwise, they become like sing in tone deaf. I don't know. They may. I'm just saying they may. So give them lots of music and rhythm. Okay, so you can lay out activities that are developmentally appropriate and make these activities accessible. So what this means is that you can put these things maybe on the ground or on a low shelf so that the kids can reach them and access them on their own. Okay, fourth thing is a prepared environment, like a safe space or freedom to move outdoors and learning materials to self-educate. And it's best if the activity is self-correcting. So yeah, talking about accessible stuff for babies, right? Actually, IKEA has like lots of like great Montessori friendly tools that you can buy. For example, they have the low shelf dresser, and then the baby cups, right? You can use the shot glasses for babies to learn drinking from. So they have a lot of these like very baby kid friendly kind of things. So IKEA is a lovely place. I love it. Daiso is another one. Cheap materials. Oops. Okay, mic keeps falling off. Okay, I'm too excited. All right. Okay, so this just an example for some of you who just have babies. Okay, so this is like example of a Montessori friendly or designed room for a baby. So right from the start, you can put a floor bed. Okay, I didn't do this because I had two older kids, and when my baby came, I was just very scared that they would trample on her or be so affectionate and they were just going to disturb her when she's sleeping. So I didn't do this baby bed thing. But if you only have one child, your first child, it's a great opportunity to do this. Okay, so what this is from the Kavanagh report. This mother, so she puts a very low mattress on the floor on a rug. Okay, so even if the baby rolls, when he starts rolling, he rolls off the bed. It's okay. He's not going to get hurt. And then she puts a mirror so that the baby can look at himself. And it's interesting. Babies love looking at mirrors. They're like talking to a friend, or they see somebody like, hey, it looks like them. Okay, and then there are the mobiles. No need for like those musical flashy light mobiles thingy. Simple, those that can move in the wind, mobiles. Okay, and you see the shelves. They are all very low so that the baby, when he starts crawling, when he starts walking, he can access these shelves. And the shelves are very simple. No need a lot of toys. Okay, just a few materials like maybe some softballs, a rattle, yeah, things like that. So actually, I didn't realize how unusual my house is until my part-time helper. So she cleans a lot of houses, right? And then she suddenly remarked one day and said, "Hey, your house are very quiet, not like other people baby houses. Like other people babies houses very very noisy, a lot of lights, very bright. Like I'm like, oh, thank God." Thank God my house is not like that because I'll be overstimulated. And in fact, I got rid of all the toys that made a lot of noise because it's just overly stimulating. Yeah, I think a quiet environment is good for both me, my sanity, and the baby's sanity. So, really, don't need to get all those leapfrog products, those that with a lot of bells, a lot of whistles, a lot of activity tables that make a lot of noise, a lot of lights, because that's not what the baby needs. It's just overly stimulating them. Actually, the only good leapfrog toy I found is the one that has phonics, but you don't need to get that for a baby. The phonics sound the alphabet, I think. So you can press the button of the alphabet, and then they will tell you this is apple or ball, something like that. So, but that works because when you learn phonics, when a child learns phonics, he needs to learn the sound, right? So that's probably the only good toy from them, I think, that I like. But you don't get that for your baby. Get that about 3 years old when he or she's learning phonics. Okay, and then you see at the right hand corner that picture, yeah, that's the like low dresser, where you put the kids' clothes. So when he's older or when she's older, she can exercise choice by picking out her outfit. Yeah, it's a bit scary for moms who like a lot of control. Like I want to dress my kids a certain way. I would encourage you to let go of all those things because unless you're like Instagram mommy who needs her kids dressed in a certain way, it's okay. Yeah, however weirdly your kids dress is not a reflection of your fashion sense. So don't worry. Let him choose. Let him choose his own outfit as long as it's appropriate, I guess, weather appropriate and occasion appropriate. You can teach them these things, but other than that, give them that choice to wear whatever they want. decently, of course. Yeah. Okay, okay, this is a bit more academic. I wanted to show you some of these shelves. Again, very simple. No need to put too much activities, and no need to be too expensive. I know there are a lot of very expensive wooden toys floating around these days on a lot of Instagram accounts, and they're lovely. They're lovely. I love them. I would buy all of them, but I can't because it's my third child and my last child, so I'm not going to go crazy. I might buy a few because I love them more than the kids, but it doesn't have to be expensive materials. Okay, so for example, this shelf, I think the mom is trying to teach the child like continents. So she has a continent map, and then the three glass bottles you see, they are actually, one contains water, one contains just air, and one contains sand, which stands for like the ground or land animals. So the middle basket is just a basket full of replica animals. So one of the activities she was going to do with her child is sorting, classification. So sorting animals into whether they live on land, in the air, or they move on land, move on water, or move in air. So that's it. Okay, and then the shelf on the right, you can see some art materials, very simple. There's a buttoning frame. So I guess the kid is learning how to button, how to push. Oh, it takes such fine motor skills and strength to be able to push the button through the hole and then pull the cloth over the button. Yeah. So these are some examples of simple Montessori shells that you can maybe try on your own if you see that your child is interested in buttoning or learning about continents. Okay, another activity, it's like a nature walk. You can ask your kid to go out, get some leaves from the botanical. Okay, no, not pick from the botanical garden. Sorry, around your neighborhood, if the leaves have fallen off, okay, and then you can pick them up. Ask your child to examine them, look at the shape of the leaves, the texture, the size, touch the veins. So these are simple activities that you can get your child to do. I don't think they will do much of these things in school. Maybe they would, maybe one topic or one theme they would, but rest of the time you can do that with your children. Trains their observation skills. Okay, the picture on the right is an example of the Montessori didactic materials, which is just a big word for teaching materials. So Montessori has come up with a lot of materials that only has one single purpose. So each material only teaches one concept. That's a whole idea. That's why the materials are so expensive. You cannot use the materials to teach multiple things, which in Singaporean terms is like get more bang for the buck, right? Yeah, but no. So Montessori materials only teach one single concept. Like if you're learning about color, then the color tablets only teach color. They don't teach shape, or they don't teach size. They don't teach size. Yeah. So do you need to buy these? No. Please don't go and buy these. There are some that I would make at home, for example, like the phonics cards, because they are easy to make and I can use them again and again. And because my kids require practice for reading. So I might make those things. But the rest of the materials, not really. Maybe for math, I might buy the beads because they are practicing counting. But other than that, don't go crazy. Don't go out and buy all the materials because firstly, you're not trained to teach them using these materials. So it may, unless you're very hardworking, you go and look at YouTube tutorials and all that. Okay, so there is a certain way to introduce and teach using these materials. And second thing is, if your kid is in a Montessori school already, you don't want to replicate the same activities in the school at home. So for the home, what are you going to do? You can do other things like practical life activities. Okay, like teach them cooking, teach them sewing, teach them cleaning. These are things that the schools don't teach. Teach them life skills. Okay, and then you can use other materials to practice counting. For example, what do you have? Montessori has the golden beads. You can just use beans or something, some replacement of sorts. I think it adds an interesting dimension to counting, something different from what they encounter in school. And then you can introduce a theme as well, whatever themes you're doing, maybe like vegetables or healthy living or healthy eating or something like that. Yeah. So don't need to buy these materials. Yeah, I think as you go along, you will see what you need to buy, and don't just go wholesale and go buy the whole set. Okay. Okay. Okay, I want to talk a bit about writing and language learning. Okay, so I think some of you are very anxious about your kids writing or not being able to write yet. So I just wanted to show you that um, there are stages and types of writing, and you can expect your child to explode into writing when in the right circumstances. Okay, so first of all, you can encourage them to use the palmer grip, which is use your hands with the palm, and then you grasp the huge crayons or what, and your baby just goes like this on the paper, and then he will progress into pincer grip, okay, which gets more and more refined, okay, and he has to hold the pencil in a 3-point way. Yeah. Okay, and then he will start with scribbling, anyhow, doodling, painting, drawing. Okay, and then he will learn to draw squiggly lines. Okay, and then later, very much later on, okay, then he'll learn to draw crosses. It's interesting. They don't just pick it up so easily. There's some developmental thing going on in the brain, some maturation that his brain has to mature, and then he can do these crosses thing. Yeah, or drawing circles. It's not that easy, right? Okay, and then he will learn the alphabet, the phonic sounds, and then the amazing thing is that he will do inventive spelling. So a lot of us are very anxious about spelling, right? About the spelling test and all that, and we feel that we have to drill and drill and drill for the kids to get it right. In a Montessori environment, in the Montessori school, and even at home, we want to encourage our kids to spell and write, and it's a stage. It's a stage that happens with every child. That you should be very happy if they're spelling things wrongly. Let me explain, okay? It's very exciting because when they're learning phonics, they're learning the letter sounds. And you know that they really master the letter sounds when they are piecing the letter sounds together and spelling words. So I give you an example here. So this girl or guy, I'm not sure it's my son's work. I don't know. I have it saved in my phone. So this is a girl, I think, who has drawn a picture, okay, of herself. So she drew a circle and she drew some lines, right? So she's quite advanced, okay, about maybe 5-year-old. Okay, so she managed to draw a circle and she draws some stick-like thing, and then she writes. So she can form quite a bit of letters. So I think she's quite advanced. And she says, can you read that? Can you actually read this sentence? Give me I don't know, comment if you can. What's she saying? Anyone? Cannot read the sentence. Okay, never mind. I'll give you the answer. I, ve, cum, the floor. Yes, Jessie, you got it right. I vacuum the floor. Okay. O sound. Yeah, O makes the O sound. Floor. I think she's a genius. She should invent the entire English spelling system again. This is exactly correct. VE makes the ve, cum. And in fact, she has learned the green scheme because she knows O makes the sound. So she's like on level 3, kind of like level 3 phonics already. So I vacuum the floor. Obviously, the spelling is not what we are used to. But that's because the English is just a weird subject, a language with weird spellings. This is actually phonetically correct. So when your kid is spelling like this, you should be very, very happy and do a happy dance because it means that she has mastered the phonics system or all the phonic sounds. That she knows what the phonic sounds are and she's piecing the alphabet together or the letters together to form words that she hears. So she's just doing it by hearing. So she's spelling by hearing. And no need to, red marks, circle, 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 wrong. And then ask them to spell VACUUM like 10 times. Unless it's for a spelling test, then okay, yeah, you want to get it right. So, but if it's a spontaneous activity and she does this, encourage her, applaud her, saying that you got the letter sounds correct. And another day, you can tell her, oh, but this is actually how adults spell vacuum. And then they may ask you why. And it's like, yeah, English is a weird language. We borrow words from a lot of other languages. So other languages spell vacuum this way, something like that. Yeah, you just give her a reason, okay, to tell her that her phonetic spelling of the word is correct, but this is how we conventionally spell vacuum and floor. Yeah, it's just weird. Yeah. So, okay. So for how about if you have siblings of different ages, what are you going to do then? So if you have multiple age siblings, you can try getting materials that suit multiple age ranges. So for example, I just recently bought this toy. Okay, I bought it because actually I like the wooden spoon and all, and I thought like, okay, it'll be a great activity for my baby so that she can practice spooning, then she can feed herself, right? Then I saw like, hey, oh, they have some tongs and they have a chopsticks, which I think the tongs might be good for my 6-year-old, and actually my kids don't really know how to use chopsticks because I never really trained them. So this is a good opportunity. I will let the older two learn how to use the chopsticks. So something like this, one toy, 3 kids can use all together. Win. Yeah. So if you can find toys like that, that's awesome, or you can vary the activity just by changing it a bit. That would be great too. For example, like I don't know, those are 10 gram, I guess, 10 grams. Yeah, those open-ended toys, or even the Grimm's rainbow. So you can vary the level of difficulty. So for example, a younger child, maybe 3 or 4 years old, with the Grimm's rainbow, the rainbow, right? You can print out, you can go on the internet, go and look for what other people have done, what others have done, and then print out pictures of that. You can laminate it so that they're a bit more durable. Then your child can look at what others have done and then copy. So a younger child can copy and then he can build and play the Grimm's rainbow. So for an older child, you may not give him the pictures, the helping pictures, and ask him to do it himself. Or you can give him a task that say, I need to balance the ball, or I need to balance the something on the smallest piece on the biggest piece, or something like that, like a puzzle. So he has to figure it out. So things like that. Open-ended toys are great. You can vary the level of difficulty. Of course, you can get books of a varied range. Try searching. Yeah, go to the library. There are board books for babies, and the primary school books and the preschooler books. Yeah, they're great. So, and then what about activity time? How are you going to handle 2 or 3 kids at one time? So what you can do is that when your kids are a bit used to your new system, right? Of course, at the start, there's going to be a lot of teething problems. You can introduce one new activity to one kid at any one time. So just if you have a new activity, just introduce that to one kid, okay? And then concentrate on that one child. Let your other kids do other things or play on their own first. So when the kids are more or less semi-independent, you can work with the older one first, teach him or her something, and then give him or her some independent work to do. Can be some papers or worksheets or something, okay, or something that she chooses to do. Then that frees you to work with your second child, teach him some stuff, and then give him something to do as well, or some activity. It can be like, I don't know, sticker books, or write a bit of writing, or just a task like I don't know, like some activity lah that he can do independently on his own. And then the baby, so if either the baby is strapped to me, and I'll just give her drawing if she can manage. So I'll give her some paper, some crayons, and she can like just draw and doodle. Or she's happy, most of the time she's happy milling about somewhere. If not, then I'm carrying her as I'm teaching the older two, because that's all she needs, right? She just needs physical touch. Yeah, so that's how I handle it. I work with one kid at a time, and now they're used to it. They're used to me. So in fact, they're happier if I leave them alone, but I don't. So during work time, especially in the afternoons, I will work with the older one first, set her a task, then work with the younger one, set him a task, and then I'll see if the baby still wants to do something. If not, then yeah, then I'll just focus on the first two. It takes a bit of a routine, I guess, or used to. After a while, your child will realize that okay, so this is how it works around here during this time, and they will get used to it, and they will wait for you. Yeah. Or you can always, on fun days, you can always give them sensory play, which works for all ages. The baby, the primary schooler, the preschooler, they all love sensory play with water beads, sand, Play-Doh, or bubbles, whatever you have. Okay, so sensory play is something that anyone can enjoy together. So yeah, I guess that's a fun thing maybe to do on the weekends, or art and craft. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, so I'm coming to the end. Okay, it's been a long workshop. Sorry, I did say that workshop 2 and 3 are a bit more content heavy because I want to give you as much value and takeaways as possible. Okay, so tips to increase your motivation. So whatever activity you choose, I think these are some things that you can think about. Be consistent about the routine and the activity. So consistency, I cannot stress this enough. Consistency and routines build habits. Um, if we are inconsistent, we can't expect our kids to be consistent and motivated at doing the work, right? Unfortunately. So we have to take the lead. We have to set the pace and set the this in motion. Block out a time that is good for you and the kids, and then start with 15 minutes, half an hour. I think just block out that time for learning or teaching or just connecting with your child, or even like cooking. We'll do an activity together so that it's a time where both of you look forward to. Both of you know that every Saturday morning, 9:30 to 10, it's time learning with mommy, learning time with mommy. You can name it. Okay, like, or happy time with mommy, something like that. Like make a show out of it, like a whole like a song and dance out of this happy time, learning time. So do it every week, every day, or whatever your schedule is. I'm not saying you have to do it every day, but a fixed time regularly. So everybody knows what to expect, and you can prepare for it. Your kids can look forward to it. Okay, so think about fun, hands-on, engaging activities. Yesterday in the Q&A, if you have missed it, I talked about fun. Don't be afraid that you have to keep making things fun for your kids to learn, because what was the question? Do we always have to package activities as fun in order for the kids to learn? What if next time they encounter an activity that is not fun? Will they not learn then? So I told this parent that you don't have to be worried about that, because actually fun activities are efficient because they get the learning and they get the point across very fast and very efficiently, and the learning sticks in the mind of the child, more so than just drilling. Okay, and you don't have to worry, because in the future, when they get older, actually the kids don't need fun activities anymore. That's what I'm seeing with my kids. They are growing out of that fun preschool stage, and they're moving into the second plane of learning according to Montessori, because after 6 years old, they move into a different mode of learning that can be more intellectual, that can be a bit more worksheet based. So they will move past that fun thing. Next time you want them to do fun activities, they'll be like, yeah, it's okay. It's not that fun anymore. Yeah, but yeah. So make sure that it's developmentally appropriate, it's fun, it's hands-on, it's engaging. Thirdly, you can see whether your activity is meaningful and purposeful. Always try to attach a purpose or meaning behind the activity. I think that helps with motivation, really. Like I'm beginning to relook at practical life activities in a new light, because I used to think that, they're just like cooking, cleaning, they're just like chores, they're like household things that kids will grow out of, and then they move on to like coolest academic stuff, like writing, reading, maths. But I'm looking at practical life, and I realized that I have overlooked it so much, and I regret it, because actually practical life activities has so much meaning in itself. And the kids find so much value in creating with their own hands or working with their own hands and then seeing an immediate product being formed with their own effort. I think that's really powerful. So and it gives them a sense of pride. I talk a lot about chores in my Instagram some weeks back. So chores give them a sense of accomplishment because they do it well when they clean the house and they pack up the house and everything is neat and nice. Another thing is like cooking. If the kids are like involved in the cooking process and straight away, almost straight away, maybe 30 minutes later, they see a dish being whipped up by their own hands. That's amazing. That is an incredible achievement. And they're eating the fruits of their labor, literally. Other things like sewing, crafting. So they're working with their hands and they're making a product that is very immediate. So the feedback is very immediate, and they can sense it, they can touch it. It's a lot more tangible than like doing a piece of work, reading, or the academic work where it involves the intellect, right? So practical life activities, certainly they're very meaningful and purposeful. And I also shared that I felt my son was a bit too steeped. He's going too deep into his fantasy world with his zombies, plants and zombies and whatnot. He was walking like a zombie. I hated it. I tried to stop it. And so that period of time, I was like, no, this has to stop. So I took him to a woodworking workshop where he actually used his hands for a whole afternoon. He sandpapered, he cut the wood, he sawed the wood, and then he drilled using a power drill. He loved using the power drill. And he made something. He made a toy car for his baby sister. So that gave him such a sense of accomplishment and achievement that he used his hands to do something nice for somebody else. Till today, I think that was 2 years ago. So till today, he still remembers it, and he still has that toy, and he shows it to me and says, "Remember that time I went for this woodworking workshop?" Yeah, so he likes it. In fact, this Saturday I'm going for a cooking class, learning how to cook wonton mee with my son, because he said he wanted to go. I asked my kids, my daughter and my son, who wanted to go, and he said me. And I'm like, okay, so you're going with me. Organized by two mamas, 4 kids. Yeah, so they have a cooking workshop, and I'll be there, and I think it'll be fun with a fun time bonding with my son. Okay, next one, quick wins. Okay, this one, quick wins meaning like you want your child to taste success fast. Okay, not artificially, but you want to structure the task activity that he works a bit harder and then he will get it and he feels good about himself. Okay, so for example, like why are we so hooked on Facebook and Instagram, right? Because of the quick feedback and the positive reinforcement. So every time you put out a post or you put out a post on Instagram or Facebook, and then you hear the ping, 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 and you see a notifications like, oh, people are responding, people like my stuff, people are commenting. So like every time you see a notification, the dopamine centers fire and it makes you happy, right? It makes you feel validated and connected to people. So similarly, our kids try to structure in some feedback and quick wins for your child so that so that he feels good, like he does a task and then he challenge himself. Okay, the next point is challenge just the right amount, not too easy that he's bored, but not too hard that he cannot do it on his own. So pick something that you think with a bit of work or a bit of thinking he can do it and can overcome the challenge, and that like gives him that sense of confidence, and then he will be motivated to continue on, right? Okay, and then of course you have to give him feedback. You have to review what went wrong, and then coach him how to do it better the next time so that he gets results, so that he tastes success, and that builds his confidence. And so then this is a virtuous cycle. Okay, I'm finished. Okay, this is my second last slide. So back to this this framework, the Montessori method. So at the heart of this, the prepared adult is the linchpin that holds everything together, and that is you. Okay, and why am I investing time into doing this workshop? Why are you investing time to attend like hours and hours of workshops with me? Is because you want to be that prepared adult in order to put all these things together so as to give your child that environment to for him to educate himself, right? So that will be the topic for workshop 3 on Friday. Okay, so yes, so we've done workshop 1, we've done workshop 2. Today we have just talked about how we're going to move our child from a pre-normalized state to a normalized state, and what are some of the characteristics you can look out for and you can look forward to when he reaches that state. He's joyful, he's happy working, he can share, etc., etc. Okay, and then things we can do to get our child on this process. I gave you many things. Give time, observe his sensitive periods, things like that. Okay, and then workshop 3 will be the power of a prepared adult, which I will see you on Friday for. Okay, again, take action. There will be contest posts coming up, so look out for them. And this is the prize that you stand to win if you still don't know. Okay, a 3-month Elephant Tribe membership and 3 Elephant boxes for the next 3 months. And 3 favorite books on parenting and teaching. I've ordered them from Book Depository already. They're on their way. Okay, any questions? Any questions? Okay, it's a long night. It's a Wednesday night. I don't blame you if you're tired or you have switched off or you're sleeping. Go catch the replay if you need to. You take down notes if you need to as well. Jazzy says, I need to notice more of what my girl is writing to. Yep. Another tip that I learned was that if your young child is doodling and not writing yet, okay, so what you can do is to scribe what she's drawing. So as she's telling you, oh, this girl is vacuuming the floor. So if she cannot write it, you write for her in front of her. Don't type. Just pick up a piece of pick up a pen and then you write on the spot for her. So you can say girl, or you can write her name, Anna, okay, ANNA, is vacuuming the floor. So you can write VACUUMING and FLOOR, floor. And you can write it on different parts of a drawing. And then she realizes, oh, what she's thinking, she can draw and she can tell you, and mommy can write. And so she makes the connection between words, pictures, thoughts, pictures, and words, which is the whole concrete to abstract principle. Yeah, so that is something you can do to encourage her writing and to encourage her writing words. Any questions at this point? So how do you find the workshops? Can you I don't know, give me some feedback. Yeah, I know a lot of you have been very encouraging, very encouraging. Is it too much content? Is it too much to absorb? You wish the sessions were shorter? I can do that. Okay, let me know. Yeah, thank you. I see some loves. I see some likes. Thank you very much. Go ahead and for those of you watching the replays, go ahead and pop your questions in if you have any. I will look through them again and I will respond to them. If not, then you can always post your questions in the question thread that I will put up in the Facebook group for tomorrow. Tomorrow is Q&A night, and that will be happening in the Elephant main page. Okay, I shall not hold you back anymore. Have a good night, everyone. Rest well. The weekend's coming. Thursday and then Friday. Friday is my free day actually, because my in-laws very kindly take all 3 kids off my hands, so I have a whole day to decompress or work on my stuff without someone bothering me. Yes. I'm looking forward to Friday. Friday is my happy day. Okay, sorry, I have a question. Thank you. If our children are not going to Montessori school, how should we start to implement a home setting for a 6-year-old? Or what would you recommend? 6-year-old going to primary 1. Okay. Look at what he needs and what he's interested in. I would suggest you start with that. Okay, what he's interested in. So for example, what's your child interested in right now? Any topic or skill or something? Um, 6-year-old, what might a 6-year-old be interested in? Oh, my child's a 6-year-old. He's interested in building catapults because he's playing Angry Birds. So he's interested in kind of like building his catapults and his castles and the Angry Birds kind of structures. So for that, I might find books on how to build catapults, and then go and find on YouTube like how to actually build a catapult. Okay, sorry. I may find books on the history of catapults, for example, how the ancient warriors used catapults to aid in their battles. I think that would be interesting for my son, at least, who's very violent. He has violent tendencies. And then I will go online to maybe find out how to build a catapult, a simple catapult I can use at home, or I can play with at home and then shoot stuff. And then I will set up an arcade game for him at home. So he learns, and then I will teach him things like potential energy, maybe, or the spring, how you spring the thing and how the ping pong ball bounces and hits something, or or the trajectory, because that's what they learn in Angry Birds, right? How to aim the bird so that it shoots higher and that's the trajectory, things like that. So you're bringing in science, you're bringing in maybe a bit of maths, and then definitely the history of catapults. That's some reading to do. So that's theme based and interest based. So you can think along those lines. As for skills, for a 6-year-old, I would be heavily concentrating on his ability to read and count, because those are important in primary school, reading especially. Uh, Chinese, if I have time, I will do, or rather, mother tongue, if I have time, I will reinforce also. But most importantly, I would want to get his reading in order. So what that means is that I would, if if his phonics is still not good, I would work on his phonics, letter sounds, and by 6 years old, he should be doing a level 3 phonics, Montessori phonics, which means the green scheme where we're working with digraphs. That means it's not no longer like the letter sounds or single letter sounds that they learn in. How to explain to you? Are you familiar with phonics? So, for example, the non-phonetic words like floor, FLOOR, or like zoom, ZOOM. So there's the OO sound that if you put like to the two O, it doesn't make oo, right? Because like FL O makes the O sound, so it doesn't make the Z Z no, zoom doesn't make that sound. So I'm teaching him that kind of double vowels, or magic I, magic E kind of sounds, because those are non-phonetic and I don't want him to memorize, because that's going to be very tedious and very painful. So I'm going to teach him some rules to make sure that he can read most of these words. Yeah. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, phonics, I actually have something coming up, but it's not ready yet. So, but I'll review that next, something about that next Monday. Okay, anyway, so I'm going to invest my time in helping him to read and reading him a lot of books. So that's what I would do for a 6-year-old. Maybe you want to follow up with more question or more details so that I can answer your question. Am I answering your question? So 6-year-old, yeah. I think in view of primary school, I would be less concerned about the whole environment thing and just pick things that I think he will need for primary school. I'm going to put that in order first. And then next year, when he's ready in primary school, and then I will reset and rejig the whole home environment again to cater to his interests. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Message me separately, and then yeah, we can talk about it. If not, if you don't mind, I will share it with the group, of course, anonymously if you want me to. Then we can all learn together. How about that? Yeah, yeah. But you can message me separately. Okay. Any other questions? If not, I will be. I'll see you tomorrow at 9:45 for the Q&A. Okay. All right. Good night. Good night. Good night. Bye bye. Thanks for staying on, the 8 of you. Thank you so much. Good night and bye bye.